so easy to grasp the gap between India's potential and performance, because you can see the potential of what an ethnic Indian can do when you look at the most competitive human laboratory in the world, which is the United States of America. And when the Indians arrive, they thought they might be number 5, number 6 in terms of per capita income in America. They ended up being number 1. And the fact that Indians, ethnic Indians, could become number 1 in the most competitive human laboratory in the world showed what their potential is. They outperform people in universities, in corporations, as deans of business schools. And then when you go back to India, and you see the same Indians, and you look at the level of the performance, and you're wondering, what happened here? Why can't the people in India achieve a per capita income? Forget 100%. Think of 50%. Think of 30% of what the Indians have achieved in America. And India would have an explosively large global economy. So clearly there is a mystery here that needs to be solved. It has taken several decades after the end of British colonial rule for the Indians to gradually wake up and realize, hey, I'm as good as anybody else. I can perform as well as anybody else. And I am actually very happy that if you did an objective study of India today, the levels of cultural self-confidence are rising decade by decade in India. And as they keep rising, I think India's performance will continue to improve, but still there's some way to go. The fastest way to accelerate the transition to address the gap between the performance of Indians overseas, not just in the United States of America, but in Singapore, in England and elsewhere, is to, in a sense, create a stronger symbiotic link between overseas Indians and Indians in India. And frankly, I serve on the Global Advisory Council of the Prime Minister of India, and one point I made is that just allow a special entry for overseas Indians to come back and invest in India. Because I'm sure they'd be happy to do so, and it's easier for them to do so because they understand the local culture and they are aware that it's frustrating and difficult to invest in India. But they can address those difficulties and those frustrations. So the more that India could do in terms of, in a sense, establishing this symbiotic link between Indians in India and overseas Indians, the more India's performance will grow. It's paradoxical that for a long time, especially starting on Nehru's days, when, as you know, India had a kind of a socialist bias, India was one of the chief opponents of globalization because it thought that Western multinational corporations would come in and rape India because the poor Indians are so weak and defenseless. The paradox here, if you look around the world, wherever there's an open global economic competition in any part of the world, the Indians do very well. So in some ways, the record shows that if the more open global competition is, the better the Indians will do. And therefore, the time has come for the Indian Foreign Ministry, which has changed its position somewhat, to actually swing sharply rightwards and say, India will be the #1 champion of globalization, because the more globalized the world becomes, the more integrated India becomes in the global economy, the better India will perform, because Indians can compete no matter what the competition is like.